Hey kids, welcome. Welcome everybody, it's Mark Miller here. Another day of coding. Today I thought I'd switch it up and we would take you down into some TypeScript. Actually some pretty challenging work lies ahead of us today. Let's see, do I have? I thought I had Beyond Compare up and running. It looks like I don't. I'll just do this because I just compared the files. I made some changes to the die roller because I want the die roller to be able to support viewer roles at the same time as regular player roles. And I figured out from a UI perspective how to make that work. Essentially what I'm going to be doing is from the UI perspective, I'm going to have kind of an invisible wall above the heads of the players. It goes all the way across the bottom of the screen. And so player roles will all happen above, but viewer roles, if a role is associated with a card that they buy, are going to come across the bottom like this. So those will just come shooting across there, right over the players. And so I made, in anticipation of that, I made some modifications here to die roller. Here, let's go ahead and we'll do this. This is the original. Put that on the left side. And this is the one on the right. And we can get a sense of the changes here. The main piece here, aside from some minor refactoring pieces, is this constant right here, test throw over players. If that's true, then we have a completely different position for the dice that we throw from. And that's kind of what's going on. Now, the reason I called this episode Refactoring Legacy Typescript is, holy cow, this code, dice roller, I think wrote this, but it was in our very early days of understanding, or my early days of understanding TypeScript and JavaScript. I was essentially just learning it here on the show. And as a result, the quality of this code is not great. It's kind of a low quality. It functionally works, but it's not very flexible. And as a result, and because it's not flexible, it only allows essentially one group of dice to be rolled at a time. And I want to be able to have two sets independently rolling. So by partitioning off of the areas in which those will roll, and by making the code changes that we have yet to make, my intention is to solve that problem. So test throw over players is currently false. So if I were to take this, let's rename this. And we'll say original. Give it that extension right there. We're going to come up here and give this one that.ts like that. And now we've got this ability to throw from the top. Now, right now that's set to false. Let's just do let's throw some dice out so you can kind of see what's going on right now. Let's throw out 12 D12s. You see they kind of bounce off the tops of the heads of the players. Good.
72 fire damage.
So we got what I think is a lot of work, and I think it's going to be a lot of work that's going to require a fair amount of brain power, is what I think it's going to take on this. I'm going to also use CodeRush, and I'm also going to use the Code Places window here, specifically over in the favorites. I'm going to start, as I start learning about the code, I'm going to add to favorites over here so I can kind of quickly navigate to those pieces that are relevant. So we got dice.js. This is this original file that I didn't want to make too many changes to because I got this from from GitHub. And so this was kind of this is what the sample dice rolling app originated from. And, or at least this was part of the original dice throwing app. So I took this and said, okay, cool. Now let's use it. And so I built around it. It's mainly, there's two files that are the ones that we're concerned about here, I think. There's diceroller.ts, this one, and dice.js. Let's close all but this. Let's open up Diceroller. So we just have those two files open that we're super interested in right there. Let's also go find, what is it? Is it viewers? Is it not on this one? It's probably over here. Yeah, we got some sort of viewers with an S. I forget what that was, what line of code that was in. That's it. I know it's close to this. Well, I say I know it's close to this. I'm actually not sure anymore. Pro. Here it is. Test throw over players is what it is. Let me change this to true for a second. And let's refresh on the live stream. The die roller layer. Let's send it some fresh data. And let's send over 12d12s. Let's see if this will work.
$76 fire damage.
Okay, so you kind of get a sense of what's going on, what the difference is if test throw over players is true or false. But we've got some problems in here. This function is not part of a class. So the original work I did over here, I did not create a class for it. And as a result, I've got all of these kind of essentially global functions out here. And that doesn't feel good to me at all. It's also a pretty big file. It's got, it's about 4,000 lines of code. So it's a lot to refactor if I were to turn this into a class. I'm not entirely sure I want to do that yet. I want to first understand the limitations. And I guess just to be clear, I wouldn't mind it being a class. I'm just worried about the amount of time it's going to take, right? End result is it's much better, everything's much better with a great design here. But we have to be judicious with the time we spend. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for the shortest path that doesn't introduce harm. It doesn't lower the quality of the code. That's what I'm looking for. So at least keep the current level of code quality, shortest path to being able to get two sets of independent die rolls at once. So I want to see what is stopping that. One of the pieces that's stopping it is, there it is, prepare values. Prepare value sets a check to see if the throw is running. And if it's running, we throw an error saying, hey, we can't start another throw. Please wait till the current throw is finished. We set throw running to true, and then we wait till much later, and we check to see, we set it to false after we're stable, is what we do. So that's in this function called check, and so we've got this dice manager, a separate world, remove event listener. That's how we get to all stable. And we add event listener here at the end of the process. So the way it works is prepare values is here. We define what the check function is going to look like, and then we add the check function as a post step. So every time I believe this is going to be happening after every physics calculation. We'll do the check. So the question is, do we create two of these dice manager classes? which would kind of feel like the shortest path. There's a global constant, I think. Yeah, I think. Where are we? We're not in a function anymore. Are we just in the code that runs or no? Yeah, so we're outside of class. This is a global constant called Dice Manager. This constant is referenced in some functions I'm not entirely clear on what they're doing. They look like they are returning a bunch of classes, is what it looks like they're doing. I'm not sure if these are used anywhere else. This kind of looks like code that would work in a number of different browsers, kind of like old versions of JavaScript and new is what it looks like to me. I'm not an expert on it, but that's the feeling I get when I look at it, especially when I see the exports down below. Let me just see if I'm going to do a search because I don't think tab to next reference is going to work there. Oh, maybe it is. Can I tab to next reference on that? Nope, I can't. Let me see if I can search for that. It only appears there. Okay. So like I say, I'm not entirely sure. It's like different ways of doing modules. This is Coding Gorilla. Coding Gorilla here. Write some serious code. Yeah, I was just saying I'm not super familiar with it. That's what I think it is, but it looks like what these things are doing is they're kind of saying, here's the Dice Manager, is what it looks like it's saying. That's what it looks like it's saying. And I'm not sure what this is. AMD. That is a little interesting to me. And then I've got the module exports. I'm not sure if this code impacts this or not. In fact, let's try this. Let me just comment it all out. Several JS module systems. Oh, okay. Thanks. I'm going to comment this out for a second. I'm going to refresh our 3D Dice overlay. There's the refresh. And send it new data. And now let's see if we can still throw out 12D12s. Okay, we can. So I don't think these are needed, which is good because that's where Dice Manager was being used a lot. Now we can maybe just look and see where Dice Manager is used here internally. And instead of making it a constant out in the big world, we can maybe make it something we pass in to the pieces that use it. Right? So Dice Manager is used in prepare about values, which is part of the Dice Manager class. It's a reference to itself almost, is what it looks like. That's a little bizarre to me. It's kind of like it's trying to get a singleton, is what it's trying to do. Because I'm almost thinking, why not change every Dice Manager that we see into a this? And we're back up here. I want to do it. I want to see what happens. Let's do this. Let's, before we do that, let's check in our changes. We're going to say, all right, we're going to say starting evaluation of dice roller. .ts in prep for refactoring. I'm going to say ignore this one right here. Excuse me. And we're going to check in those right there. Save those and commit. So we kind of track whether it changes work or not and roll them back if they don't. That's kind of what I want to do. This, so it's a this here. Hey, Pudding. Oh, I wonder if this was used before because the function, because it wasn't able to access this. Is that true? Did I change this one? I think I did. Let me just undo a second. Yeah, I did. Yeah, but I bet this will work now with the new version of JavaScript here. I don't think I need to do any binding kind of call there. Yeah, there's no bind on that. Let's see if this, I think this will still work. So anyway, let's keep going to Dice Manager, change it to this, 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 and where else are you? This, this, and this. And that's it. Okay, save it, and let's refresh the current page, and let's refresh the data. So that looks like that's failed. Let's bring up a browser and take a look at it. I think it's Dice Roller. Is that right? Page is Die Roller. Okay. All right. Data has been I'm going to grab grab this and refresh button and bring it up here, put it right there. It's a little easier for me to hit. Okay, let's try 12 D12. Go. What do we got? Got an error, I think. No. No errors? I really want an error. Yeah, nothing in the console window. That's like, what are my errors here? I would expect to be able to click on that, but nothing is happening when I click on that. Seems pretty responsive. I'll try one more time. Refresh it. Yeah, why is console like empty? I'm expecting to see at least something in here showing up. Oh, I had some filter stuff in here. That was interesting. Okay, I didn't see that. Okay, one more time. So 12, D12, Pearson. Let's call Dice Manager.setWorld first. Not this world. So it's about line 418. Let's see what we got over here. 418. You see there's our changes right there. Dice Manager. Change to this. I think it's a this problem. I think it doesn't understand what this is. I'm guessing somewhere we've got a callback that's happening. We've lost track of the this. And I also think that's the, that was the motivation for having that class, that named class in there. So we kind of, that's my guess, is we kind of need to find that. Let's do this. At this point, let's do a console log here and just send out this. Let's refresh it. Oops, refresh. Here we go. This is a dice D12. Is that right? Yeah. I'm going to say it is. Hey, TBD Gamer. Welcome. Frank, hello. Frank, you're rated with a party of 9. Welcome. By the way, Pudding, you were asking me the other day when we would get party 3 in. You have access to party 3 if... There you go. Party 3 is open for use and abuse. I think it's got a timeout for like 20 minutes, so you can do it every 20 minutes or something like that. Also, it's only available for level 10 viewers. You can find out your level, I think, by typing in bang ? Like that. You get something along those lines, I think. Is that right? The user level is, yeah, there you go. Now we need the Gorilla Party, party 4. All right, Coding Gorilla. It's on my list, but the sample you sent me was tough to work with. I need something else. We'll figure it out. We said like 15 ends of the world by now. I'm not sure what you mean by end. We've survived 15 ends of the worlds by now. If you're talking about the last 4 years in the United States, I would be saying like, yeah, that's what I felt it was like. Read my previous message for that. Wait, did I miss something? What did I miss? Oh, so it's the end of the world according to The Simpsons, but whatever. Oh, right, got it. Yeah. Okay, so we got the wrong thing here. This is supposed to be the Dice Manager, I think. Or wait, maybe not. Hold on. I wasn't actually looking carefully at the class that was containing me. What's the containing class here? Okay, it's the dice object. Okay, so the dice object. All right, so let's go unravel some of these here. Let's just do this. Let's discard these changes. Yeah, discard them. Come back in. Let's look at it again one more time. So if we're at dice object goes from line 87 to line 451. D4 similarly is in there. Let's go find out what classes we're in, where this is used. Here, it's used in Dice Manager. So this should totally work here. This. Now where are we? Clear. We're in Dice Object. So now we're in trouble, kind of. We need the constructor to pass in the Dice Manager, is what I think we need to do. And do we have, I'm going through the supers here. So it's fun. It's interesting. Okay, let me go through D4 constructor. I cannot tab Unix reference on that, unfortunately. We're gonna have to figure that out. By the way, kids, raiders who are just coming in, probably trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. Apologies for not greeting you and properly with a feedback, letting you know what's going on. You want a pudding party, pudding? Yeah, it's a big old mess. I'm not sure if we can do that or not. We'll consider it. We are doing some legacy TypeScript refactoring. I've got some code that I didn't write along with some code that I did write, but I wrote it when I was a total noob. And so it's got some problems. Its quality is not as high as I want it to be. And I want to make some changes to it. I want to make some changes. Yeah, pudding, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about pudding, like just shooting up all over all over the place. I'm thinking about it. It's on my list. Anyway, right here, the dice D4. Can I tap the next reference on this guy? No, I cannot. So that means I got to come over here because for whatever reason, Visual Studio can't see it. Let's close that. Let's close this. Over here. Let's find it. Yeah, I had to do an ignore on this. Is what I had to do. You make the gorilla dancing and pool filled with pudding. Yeah, I'm thinking of all these options I'm thinking about. Okay, so I say new dice D4, and it looks like I'm passing it this object, this kind of object we're creating here. And I think what I want to do is I want to say, well, you know what? Let's give you the dice manager we want you to use. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. And I'm thinking about, let's just drop a marker here for a second. Let's also come up here. Let's create a new enum. It's going to be the die roll kind, type, position, placement, die roll placement. And we've either got, or maybe just die roll type, like that. Let's make sure we don't have anything else called die roll type in here. Looks like we're good. And there's two different kinds of die roll types. There's player and viewer. And for folks who are just coming in, this is all hooking up to a card system where viewers will be able to play cards while we play Dungeons and Dragons. And some of the cards will have roles for the players, and some will have roles for the viewers. And so when the viewer plays a card that has a role for them, like you get to control Fred, whatever Fred says, for like 5 minutes, something like that. You agree with that, Fred? Yeah. And it might be 5 minutes plus 1d4. And so in that case, we'll roll a die for the viewer, and I want the die to come out looking in the viewer's color. I even think we'll do some fun stuff like the greater clout the viewer has, the bigger the die will be, up to a certain limit. So you might have these giant die rolling in, or very small die for noobs, that sort of thing for folks who are new to the show. That's kind of what we're doing. What do you want me to check here? What you got? You got some content for me? Listen, kid, I don't have much time. The reason why all programming tutorials uses Hello World is, I think it's because of I don't have much time. Or it could be pudding. One of the two. All right. I got it. I checked it. I got it. Thanks, pudding. I trust you guys, man. I just click on anything you put out there. It may not be safe for work. I'm just doing my best. It's also funny because it's a gorilla. I get it. Okay. So back into our changes here. Back over into our changes. So die roll type. And then based on die roll type, we're going to pass in one of the two different dice managers. So let's go look at create die. Create die is called from add dice from DTO and add die. Cool. So we only have two splits there that we have to go take care of and pass it, because we have to further pass it in here as well. And the die stir, the other problem you can kind of see here is look at all the parameters, right? It's like, oh man, Mark, really? You know, you could have done this better, but in all these global functions, right? It's just like, oh. I wish, wish I hadn't done this, but anyway, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to find the shortest, quickest path without destroying the code. So if I can make the code better, great. But if I don't destroy the quality of the code, as long as I don't harm the quality of the code, I think we're gonna be okay. Let's see, I got a couple calls to add die. Let's see, I've got one here from add die from string. Oh, I'm thinking of a CodeRush feature. Hold on a second, kids. We're dogfooding CodeRush, adding for Visual Studio just about every day of the week here. I just been thinking about a CodeRush feature. Yeah. There's no such thing as a class in JavaScript, so global functions are fine. Modules are better, though. Just coding Gorilla. Well, I like classes in TypeScript because it feels like there is such a thing, and they make me feel more comfortable, and the tooling features like tabbed index reference work well on them. Here's the thing. I'm not sure if this is a CodeRush feature or not, but right now I need to track the influence, or maybe a group of modules, or no modules, code places I want to change. Well, you know what? I could do this. I think what I need is, I need a shortcut to code places add to my last favorite. That's what I think I need. Okay, that's what the feature request is going to be. All right, kids. I want a feature that works like this. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, I'm going to, I can't right click here and say add current method. I've asked for this and it's not here yet. Although also my bad, I haven't downloaded the latest CodeRush either. So at any rate, let's do this. Let's add this. Where is it? I need to right click on it. Why don't I see the current one here? Not what I want to do. Where is... Nope. Here's where I want to be. Okay, there it is. I want to right click this, add to favorites, add to new group. I'm going to call it, the group is going to be, it's going to be die manager refactoring. Okay. So I've just added something to a favorite. Okay. Now here's what I want to do. This is the feature request. So when I go in here and I get here, I want to be able to hit a key that adds my current location to the last favorite I added something into. So in other words, I hit one key and it does essentially this. Why did it move add die out of the way? It looks like I got to go move into it. Where's add die here? I'm not liking that either. That looks like a bug that I just saw. I don't see add die on screen. It was on screen for a moment. There we go. Hold on. There it is right there. Now it's on screen. Notice the scroll position has changed. At any rate, what I want it to do when I hit that key, when I'm here and I hit that key, I want it to do that. So just hit a key and boom, it's now added to my last favorite group right there. That's the shortcut. That's what I want. A shortcut that does that. That's the CodeRush feature request. Thanks, everybody. Let's implement that because I think it's easy to do and it's super powerful. Add to last favorite code place. That's what I think the command looks like right there. All right, kids. Let's see if this will be a good test here too. All right, what do we got here? You can build classes, though it's just going to be weird and messy because JavaScript also, if this is G8JS, you can't call the functions, can't you call the functions with text? So all the functions are called dicexx, you can just place XX with text. I'm not sure I fully understand what you're suggesting there. All right, so I've got add die here, create dice here, create dice and add dice from DTO. Let's switch over here. Yeah, oh, there we go. At least that one's in view. Okay. And create die is only used in those two places. Add die is called from add die from string. Throw that in there. I'm ultimately trying to get out to a place where I'm throwing an object at this. Right now I'm still throwing a bunch of parameters in. Let's try add die from string. Where's that going from? That's going from a bunch of places where we would need to pass in the data. Okay. Local dice roll data. Yeah, we got some globals here. It's most recent dice roll data. Yeah, this is support for secondary rolls. So function name would be dice plus convert to 2-digit text, dice faces. Then you just use, window function name function args. And still, I'm not getting the benefit of this. I'm sorry, I'm still not understanding how is that different or better than what we have. How will that provide value? How will that get me closer to being able to roll two sets of dice at once? Probably not how you want to do it, but it was the first answer. Okay. All right. All right, let's go back to where we were. Let's go to our favorites. We found add die. Add die from string. Also called enroll add-on dice. Okay. So at some point, we've got this thing called dice roll data over here. Let's go find it. Dice roll data. There it is. Dice roll data is problematic because it's global. Dice roll data contains the data for the roll. It's what's sent down. Let me just, let's go find it. You assign it in a method that I believe is called please roll dice. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, I meant to do jump to symbol. And we pass it in here. And that's where we sign it. So we got a problem here. We got to solve dice roll data. I'm trying to think of the least harmful way to solve it. Wow, it's over here used in dice sounds as well. That's the only other place it's used. All right, so we're going to need to pass it in here. We're going to need to pass it in here. So let's get at least that going. Let's fix that. I really only need min crit from it. What's the min for a crit? Let's do that. So we'll fix that. And we're back in the die roller. So we can do that. All right. I think we're good. Okay, I think we fixed that. Okay, back over. Let's work our way back here. Dice roll data. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking is my fastest, least damaging solution to this. Hold on a second. Kids, I just experienced a performance issue. Take a look at it. I was doing a rename. I know we've done this before and we've looked for these before and it wasn't us, but I want you to take a look at the, I want you to take a look at it anyway. Delay during rename in dice roller .ts. There it is right there. And that will get you the perf logs as well, so you can take a look at that. See what you think. Okay, so here's what I think I want to do. I want to do that. And eventually then I want to create a second one for the viewer. And then I want to create a function that gets me the right one, depending on what kind of role we're doing, I think. Or somehow passes that in. You know what? Am I really going to have to create a class for these? Maybe I create a class. Do I turn the whole thing into a class? Potentially a lot of work. All right, let's do this. Let's do a refresh of the die roller page and see if we're still rolling dice. Okay, looks like we are.
$69 acid damage.
All right, so I'm kind of thinking about going a little crazy here and doing that. Please roll dice. From here, I think this is not. Oh, it is. It's called from connection. Okay. I'm sending the dice roll data to it. Please roll dice here. That's in the dice layer. And the dice layer goes to the dice roller. All right, I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to I think I'm going to turn this whole thing into a class. I'm a little bit wary of it because it's a lot. I feel like there's a lot at risk here. It's not a small amount of code. If I can change it into a class, then I can create two different classes and solve the problem independently, I think. All right, let's try it. right, so create a class. I think I'm going to call it the die roller. Do I have any collision with that? Let's paste all this back in. Need to get all these lets out of the way. Actually, I think I want to undo everything and just do a quick check-in. There it is right there. Just check in these changes so far. We confirm that these work right here. Yeah, it's about to get scary maybe. Hopefully we'll be able to get through this successfully and not have to back out of it. So these are my globals. I got some enums up here. I just realized I want the enums to stay up there. Let's take our globals, move them down. That looks like a good place to put my more globals together. Cool. All right. Simon Gearing, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Can I do const here? I didn't think I could do const in here. I thought I had to do static read only. Have to do var here. Is that going to work? No, it doesn't work that either. It looks like it wants to give me. Are all of these arrays? I don't understand the syntax here. If that means all of these are initialized to empty or just the last one is. I think it's just simply declaring each one is what I think. I think it's container. I think it looks like the equivalent is this. I think it's that. Thought I'd come hang out with you all in the mobile while I get the washing up done and cook some dinner. This might be a bit of a one-way conversation as I'll need to be lurking. That's all right, Simon. Glad to have you with us. All right, so now we're in our first error, and I think it's going to look like this, this.world. And we're going to get rid of that. Okay, good. How far are we down through the file? That far. Okay. We'll try to... But now can I... Nice. I can now tab the next reference on those, which is, you know, good. Willer's on, oh my God, you was a similar person from Breaking Bad. Oh yeah, a little bit like that. It's like coding bad is what we should call it, huh? How you doing, Karen? Karen just walked into the office. Looks like you just woke up. Yeah, you okay? You want to say hi to everybody?
Hello, everybody. What are you
Gearing's out there, Pudding's out there. Turn what into a class? What? Oh, this? Yeah, I turned it into a class. Are you? Yeah, it is risky. You're right. What should I do?
Don't come crawling to me when it doesn't work out.
All right, fine. All right. That. Keep this going there. That. Working our way down. I'm dropping marker. We're at line 207. We got to go to 4,000. We might be. Yeah, it's a little bit of a high risk move because if it fails, it might take a while to figure out why it's failing. Also, it would be very cool if this just all worked. That would be exciting for me. Oops, I just noticed. Get rid of the function there. I don't know why I didn't complain about that. Oh, it's because it's this one. There we go. Okay. You. Get rid of you. Is there a shortcut that gets me to the next error? I think there is. I just don't know what it is. Visual Studio. Next error. Shortcut. F8. Let's see what happens when I hit F8. Nothing is happening. I got errors in the error list. Okay. Is it maybe I don't have the binding right? What's it say here? Next error is F8. Need to have located the current error though double clicking through the list of errors. Okay. Now does it work? Okay. Huh. It seems to be missing one or two. Did it twice, it seems like. One. Oh, that one time I didn't have to. I'm just going to keep doing it and circle around and get the ones I missed a little later. This is going to be faster to do it this way. What? No. That's got to be careful about that. Oh, there it happened again. Because it's probably the wrong spot. Why not just do a find and replace? Yeah, maybe you're right for this one. Yeah, but I've already now... Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Because, well, I could do it with a regular expression looking for white space before it, I guess. Or whole word. No, because the dot in front of it. I've already added dots in front of it, so I'm kind of messed up here. I'm just going to do this. Not too bad. Working my way through it.
Rescue 7, where are you? We need your help.
Somebody take over this keyboard, Genesee 7.
Here, I have.
Yoda, Genesee 7. Woo! I got a bunch on screen here. I'm just kind of not hitting F8 now. I'm just going through and just fixing them. See what we got. I think when I'm in a space like this, I want to just try and get a bunch of these at once. If they're all on screen. Oh, Rory. Hey, Rory.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm alright, yeah. Call ran long, but I'm here.
I'm in the middle of writing a bunch of code that may not work. And it's going to take us a few minutes.
Gotta love a party.
Yeah, I gave the chat room control over Party 3. They have control.
Oh dear. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. So what am I doing, Rory? You want to know what I'm doing?
You appear to be converting some JavaScript into TypeScript.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's some JavaScript we wrote a long time ago. Like years ago. We wanted to get the die roller working. And you may recall, because we started with this kind of really old, pure JS file.
Yep.
We kind of, there was a wrapper around that, and then we put our stuff around that. We were using global functions and suggesting you decide, Rory, Party Force theme. There's a lot of discussion about it having a theme of pudding and gorillas is what is currently the discussion that's out there.
you know, the very fact that you suggest both of those in a sentence actually has me suddenly imagining a kind of a Mario Kart where each of the characters is in one, just racing around at the same time. That's not very party, though, is it? I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, I've never done. If I take out the word function, is this going to work? I'm worried about that right there. I don't know about that. If I can do an async internally, I think I probably could. I think I may just have errors because I got the word function up here. So basically I'm taking a whole bunch of global functions and wrapping them in a class is what I'm doing.
Sure.
And I'm going through error by error, and every error that's in here now should be a this error. It doesn't have a this reference to it. Or alternatively, it's the error where you put the word function. The word function is there and it doesn't need to be there because it's a method in a class.
I was going to say, are there some places where it is valid to do that? Because you've got one right there, but that doesn't seem to be showing up as an error.
I think it's because there's one way up above.
Oh, okay.
Down, bow, wow. Just dance our way through the code, kids.
Yeah.
All right. We should start our own band, Rory. All right, so let's see.
Is there any way you could safely hurry this with a regular expression replace on function, as long as it's at the start of a line?
Yeah, I can do that maybe. Although I'm not too worried about that because there's not too many function calls in there. So,
Fair enough, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, that sort of stuff does tend to scare me a little bit because there's always this wondering whether or not there's been some slight strange circumstance in which it was supposed to be there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
And the breaking things more than you fix.
It's that, and then this, And then this. And then this. I'm on line 400, Rory. Are you excited? I've got about 4,000. I'm a tenth of the way
I'm
through.
looking at the thumb on the scroll bar going, ah.
I know. When your call came in, I was like, oh, I didn't think about the impact of subjecting Rory to this. This is maybe a mistake to work on this on the day Rory's going to be here.
I'm also looking here at the that same scroll, and there's a lot of red there.
I'm not going to talk about Rory.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
We just like red. That's all that is.
So basically what you're going to do is you're going to talk about your day, how things are going over there in the UK, what's the weather like, all those things while I just brute force. Because why, kids? This is what the show is about, brute force and ignorance. We embrace that. That's why we're here.
Yep.
All right, so that's what we're doing. How many pudding need for party? I don't know. I'm thinking about like 20. 20 pudding for the party.
How many people at the party? Yeah.
All right.
It's a function of that number.
We need to clear that. Whoops, not there. There.
Pudding says just one because pudding is unlimited. I'm assuming he means it's just the biggest pudding ever. It's like some games refer to your inventory as like a pocket dimension.
I see.
I'm pretty sure there's a pudding dimension that pudding gets pudding from.
That's kind of cool. I like that idea. Okay, line 640. Working our way through it. Yeah, it's a big file. It was kind of a high risk move because we could. One of the possibilities of this, the end result is it doesn't work, and we now have to spend a lot of time figuring out why it doesn't work. So I'm trying to be both careful as I go through, but also quick. Right, is what I'm trying to do.
It's slightly irritating because I think it was back in, I want to say 2005 edition of Studio. They removed the macros facility, where you could effectively record a sequence of events, and it could be things like, well, find or press F8, go to the next one, and provided you were fairly confident you were looking for the same kind of error, and the way of working through it would always be, left character to stop selecting, insert THIS period. And then find next. You could then reduce that sequence to a single key press, and actually you could abstract it further and further. You had to be fairly confident you weren't again going to wreck your code through automation, but it did at least save on the RSI.
Yeah, and you were looking and you could view each one. That's what I kind of like about this is that I'm able to view.
That's right. It's not a global do it all now and hide the mess from me. I'm going to go through them, but I'm going to expend a lot less physical muscular effort on doing so.
Hold on, I got a problem. I just lost dice sounds. I switched files and I wasn't paying attention. I got to dice layer.
Oh.
Okay, now we're going to stop right there. Save dice layer. What's the change in dice layer? Nothing. Good. Okay. So somehow I got to dice layer. Notice we lost dice sounds. Dice sounds, I bet, were kind of a global. There it is.
Right.
And we moved it into the class. I'm moving it out. So the class is right there's the class right there, die roller. So I'm moving it out. Okay.
F8 for find me the next error is that it'll be the next error based on the order that it is in that list. So you can sort the list first if you so desire, and you can sort it, for example, by file.
This list I can sort?
Yeah. You can sort that list, the description.
Buttons. Right.
Yeah,
right,
that
right.
way you can be fairly sure again that the next error is going to be in the same file.
Gotcha. Hold on, let's see. Do we have anything outside the file? We have something in dice sounds. Attempted roll was successful.
It's pretty few though.
All right, let's fix this first. I want nothing in any other pieces right here. Play attack, commentary, async. We're going to pass this in. The roll was successful. that. If all those are all global functions, it would have been safer to group them into smaller classes and call them from the big file to do everything in one go. Or is it all 4,000 lines of code really one class? I kind of think it is. Seems about 10 times order of magnitude too big for that. Yeah, I know. I can't really argue with you on that, Simon. Simon, can you cook your dinner, man? You're don't tell me the truth right now. I'm trying to hide, got the blinders on, trying to get minimum amount of changes.
Just keep swimming
to get it to work with the lowest risk. Part of what I'm trying to do also is lower risk. But I think you're absolutely right, Simon. I'm kidding about, getting back to cooking. I think you're absolutely right. That would be a great approach to this, right? Organizing, grouping things, dividing and conquering, but I don't have the time, right? I want to try to get this done on the show, which means we got about another hour or two left to work with it. What's wrong with 4,000 plus line of code class definition? Well, we'll see. We'll see.
This might be a particularly good exercise in finding out the answer to that.
Okay, back over here. Now I can throw it at it. It's going to be this dot. Attempted roll was successful. Okay, cool. Any other places? Nope, that's the declaration right there. Okay. Good. And now if we go to our error list, we should see them all. Did we get them all? I got one more in dice, two more in dice sounds. Okay. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing down here. So like I said, Roy, talk to me about whatever you want, because,
I don't think you need to hear about my day.
No, not good? I'm sorry about that.
Well, my day is like my week is like my month, unfortunately. I can't tell the difference between them anymore.
It's too bad. I was thinking, what am I going to do today? Is what I was thinking. And this was one of the choices I was thinking about. At least it's TypeScript when you're done, says Simon Gearing. Yeah, process incremental improvements then. Yeah, making it better by making it slightly less crap one step at a time. That's exactly kind of what I'm doing. I'm trying to make it more flexible. That's the problem. I've run into an architectural block that limited flexibility. I want to get two sets of die rolls coming out at once. One up on the top of the screen and one on the bottom, independent of each other. So I can, throw bonus rolls, get multiple rolls, queue them up, all of that. But in order to do this, it looks like I need to create a class first. And everything in that dice roller, my understanding of it, everything had to do with rolling dice, tracking it, maintaining it, adding special effects for the most part. Dice Layer does the add-on effects like the fire on the dice, things like that. Dice sounds, there's the sound effects. At any rate, okay, so I think we are now, let's see, do we now have we removed? We've got Dice Roller. We got some Dice Layer issues. What's our Dice Layer issue here? Remove remaining dice. Who's calling clear dice? From connection. Remove remaining dice. That's gotta be, can I find it? Nope, I bet I can find it, search for it. It's just because the code's not right yet. Okay, yeah, remove remaining dice is in here. I'm gonna fix this later, is what I think I'm gonna do. So we'll just watch out for those two. I think we just have those two in there.
There's very few left in that outside that main file now, isn't there?
Yeah. Dice sounds back to global. Right up here. Keep that there for now. Jeez.
This is why I like .NET. There's no need to explicitly state, member of me if the namespace is available.
Right. No, I get that. All right, what do we got?
Is there any kind of quick fix for that?
I don't know. I was thinking about it. I don't want to do it. I know you're thinking about search and replace. Is that what you're thinking about?
No, I just meant sort of the control period, and I can fix your code in this fashion. Maybe for the adding of this. I'm not sure about removing of it.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's a quick fix for it. All right, keep going through. Boom. but I am liking this way more. I was really nervous about it, not liking it when it was total bonus plus equals, and I was like, wait, it's not a local? Oh man, what did I get myself into with this bad code that I wrote? So the quick fix for Jay is, yep, Blazor. All right, fine.
Interesting definition of quick.
All right, there's those two. What do we got? You're going to keep an eye on the number of red on the left over there, right, Rory? We can talk about other things
sure.
too. We can talk about how you wish your day had gone today. We can talk about, you know, what's it like to live in the UK? Do we have, you know, are there subway stations with, you know, King's Station and things like that? Is Harry Potter there?
Oh, we're out in the sticks. We don't have anything like a subway station.
No subways out there?
Nah, closest you get around here is a bus or a taxi, perhaps.
You know, I was in England. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's just it. You got to remember, I live on a much like yourself, I guess, a coastal town, which exists in our case here more or less as a tourist attraction, and there are none of those.
Yeah.
And it's winter, and you know, it's dead at this time of year anyway.
Yeah, we're
Bad
ignoring
influence, Simon Gearing, surely not.
Surely not. I was in. So I'll tell you my. Okay, this is all bad because I got to get it. I got to get up here at the top. I was in the UK for a conference.
Yep.
And I think I gotta hit these from the top down here. Wait, what's at the very top? What's my problem here? Something out to the right? Why do I? Oh, here. It's that.
Simon Gearing sums up the UK in a single sentence right now. Possibly many other places.
Yeah, I get you. Well, the cool thing, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, darkened weather is miserable. Cool thing about being in Costa Rica, Rory, is that you can go out to the beach and it's pretty safe, and you know, because not a lot of people are around you, and the sun's on you, and it's like, okay, this is not a bad way to get through COVID.
I was gonna say, you're pretty equatorial there, so almost year round.
Yeah. That is
decent
correct.
weather.
Yep. That's right. All right, dice sound
Yeah,
there.
that's pretty nice.
Okay, down over to here now. So we're about a fifth of the way through, it looks like. Okay.
Yes, on the plus side, we don't have hurricanes. That's true.
We don't get a lot of
Here
them
in the UK.
here. I'm on the west coast, and the west coast of Costa Rica does not get as many as the east coast, is my understanding.
I was going to say, I don't know about the rest of the chat room, but every time I see those hurricane warnings, I look in your direction, I'm thinking, that looks really close to where Mark is. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, also remember,
those things can do some serious damage.
Note that I'm not in Puerto Rico, and a lot of people confused, including me. I used to confuse Puerto Rico with Costa Rica because, you know, they sound, you know, they're a phonetic anagram of each other. Yeah. And Puerto Rico gets hit a lot by hurricanes. When we first moved here, Rory, there was like within, I don't know, about 3 or 4 weeks of being here, it seemed, there was a major hurricane. And I remember our daughter had made a decision, hey, I want to fly to the States and see my family, you know, her dad. And she wanted to see her dad. It was my stepdaughter. She wanted to see her dad and other people in the States. And she made a decision a couple days before, as the storm was hitting, right? And we were like, okay, I think we can make that happen. So on the day I'm going to take her to the airport, I encounter, you know, the water on the road. And the water looks like it's about maybe 400 meters long, about maybe a quarter of a mile. It's hard to tell, you know, how far it goes, but I think it's there, and it looks like it's maybe at most gets to be about maybe 10 inches deep. Or, you know, what is that? That's about, what is that? How much is that, Rory? From
it's
there to
a
there?
little less than a foot, isn't it? Foot's 12 inches.
Well, you're doing a foot over there too? You're doing imperial?
Well, okay. Roughly equivalent to a foot is 30 centimeter ruler.
That's what I was going to say.
School
30.
size.
I was going to say 30 or 33, but I was like, I panicked. I wasn't sure if it was right or not. So, Oh no! Look at this. Is why we can't replace function, because I've got these inside.
You got functions in functions.
But I think, can't I do it this way legally? I think I can. So maybe, oh no, wait, maybe I can't. Let's undo that for a second. All right. We are bilingual in the UK regarding measurements.
Yeah, I mean, we're a lot metric, and then I think of us as metric, except we're really not. We have pints and miles and pounds of things in. Actually, I think the weights are mostly metric, but you do still get, loose stuff sometimes in other, I guess, imperial measurements. It's very confusing. And that's for someone who lives here.
So I'm driving her, and I'm going through the water, and as I kind of round the corner, I realize, oh, by the way, there are a whole bunch of people standing in front of the water. Cars have stopped.
Okay.
Because the road just disappears, and the water, you see the water. And then it curves around about, like I said, about, quarter of a mile or 300 meters, 400 meters in front of me. It seems to curve around to the side. So I'm like, we slow down, and a woman comes up to us just before we hit the water. And she's like, I'm trying to get to the airport. I go, we are too. She goes, are you okay if I get in the car with you? My driver won't take me through this. And I'm like, come on in. You have functions inside functions like that. She's going to gorilla. We were taught metric in school, but pick up imperial from parents in society at large. All right. Okay, cool. So she gets in the car with us. She's sitting in the back. She's got her suitcase with her. And we start driving. And we go around the corner, and the water is not stopping. The water is continuing. And it's getting deeper. And the water is now at a point where, well, two things are happening. The water is up to just underneath the windshield, where the side windows are. It's about that's far from the top of the
uncomfortably windows. Close, I think is the phrase.
That's event number one that's happening. Event number two that's happening is the road is kind of higher up than the surrounding land, and the water's coming from our left. And so on our right, what's happening is just a few feet from the right is water is falling over the edge of the road, and it's white water. It's to my right. And the physics calculations aren't working out, because I already know that like about this much water on your tires is all you need to just have your car, if it's coming from the left, or or coming from the right or the left, it's all you need to take your car loses grips and it'll send
plus,
it going.
The second it gets that high, it's now got not just the tires, but the side of your car to push.
Yes.
It's got a lot more traction going on.
But what I think is happening is the water here it's like I'm in a waterfall. I'm on the edge of a waterfall, is what it's a little bit like, right? But the water is somehow moving slow enough that I'm still got traction on the road. Okay? But there's white water to my right. And we continue we're continuing to drive, and I'm like, this is going to get better, right? Is what
the alarm bells at this point better be ringing, going, it's okay now, but this could all go very, very sideways.
Yeah. Also,
very quickly.
Also, I should point out as well that kind of, and I say downhill of us, but it's not far below us. It's only like about maybe 2 meters below us, and then it's flat for a long time. But in that space, 2 meters below us, the water is going so fast, it's pushing these kind of shanty house structures. It's tearing them apart and pushing them away from us. And I'm just going with odds on this, right? I've been going with odds, kind of like how I'm refactoring right now. At some point, it's got to get better, right? It is what I'm thinking.
It's about how long you can go without it being bad.
And I'm trying to
be all right.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember my topological map of this road. Does it get lower or does it get higher? And I'm just like, it's not making really sense to me how deep we are. And then the woman in the back says, there's water leaking in from the sides. And I'm like, oh really? And she's like, yeah, it's squirting in pretty fast from the doors. So now the water is shooting into the back. And I'm starting to get a little bit nervous, because we've gone around a corner. We've driven at this point about a mile. Right, we've driven a long distance on a road that has nothing coming out of the ground to mark the sides of it. Behind me it's all water behind me, right? There's just a little bit to mark it, like the white water off to the side, right? For example, but I'm like imagining, okay, I'm basically saying if this gets above the windshields, or if the current from the side gets stronger, looks like it's going to get stronger, I'm going to put it in reverse and try to back up a mile. That's what I'm going to try to do.
Okay. Your guiding line at that point is the white water on your left.
Yes.
Because you're saying the road itself is practically invisible at this point.
Yes, it is. And we're kind of now at a point that, so we get around the corner, and I'm nervous, right? Because we're like, water's coming in the back. We're like, I'm like thinking about the whole situation, trying to work my way through it, and we're passed by a tractor with giant wheels, and the tractor is creating a wake, and the wake,
just to add to your troubles.
No, it's actually not. The wake is dropping the water level behind the tractor, and I'm like, that's what I need. And so I just come up right behind it. It drops it a few inches. Tuck in behind him. That's it. Tuck in a few inches, and we drive for maybe another eighth of a mile, and we're starting to rise up and get out. And we make it out. Nice. And I had to do that 3 more times that day because there were 2.
So having got out of it, you decide to go back in.
No, it's that there was a second one I had to get to the airport, and then once I got out of the airport, I had to get back. But having understood the physics of the tractor move, I did that for the other 3 as well. And each time it did not get high enough to take us out. So anyway, I know I should have been refactoring during that time, but that was my story there. Okay, cool. That's good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had anything like that before.
Yeah, also with the same stepdaughter, we drove through like a forest fire here with fire on each side of the road with us, and that was also kind of fun. So we did both fire, and that was here.
I'm starting to worry you're aiming for the other elements. Just, I have 2 out of the 4 or however many.
I like to play in that.
You realize the next 2 are earthquake and hurricane, right? Because that doesn't sound good.
I like to play in that space. Well, we've driven through hurricanes or kind of before. We were here in hurricanes. When that hurricane hit, the one I told you about, the big one, it was, all right, let's get this out of here. Can I do selection increase? Cool. Let's get that enum, bring it up to the top. Yeah, when we got here, and one of the things that was crazy is we were seeing trees, big trees, drop because of the wind. And over into the road. And you wanted your car carpets cleaned, right? Yeah. They do that with the 4x4 in the Australian bush. Put a tarp over the front grille to create a bow wake. That's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, the wake is what saved us. The wake is what saved us. All right, let's see if we can hit F8. I feel like I was starting something else. Oh yeah, the tree. When we first got here, I was like, and that had happened. I was like, I started driving with my eyes up at the trees, right, during the windy times. Why is get screen coordinates not working here? Not there. Where's get screen coordinates? It's in die roller or in dice layer. Okay. Do I have this showing up anywhere else in here? I think it's not, right? So add die text. Add die text after. I'm going to go find get screen coordinates because I bet that does not need to be part of that. I think I can take it out, make it a function, standalone function.
Yeah, because if I'm understanding you correctly, this started out as a large list of global functions.
It did.
And your additions of this suggest that you have started at least one class at the top, which we are now endeavouring to put these things into. However, this particular one does not need to be in said class.
Yeah. That's my take on it as well.
Fair enough.
That right there. Let's come back up here, hit F8. Remove remaining dice. It's going to be this dot. No. I'm in dice layer. Shoot, this is the one to ignore. Dice layer, ignore, remove that. Doesn't like this at the very beginning of this. I don't know what I need to put at the beginning of my TS file to get rid of that error. Screen coordinates is not.
Export maybe? Is that right?
Only time we had a hurricane like that was the Great Storm of '89. Hundreds of big trees down all along the south coast of the UK. Dad was out helping the council clear roads with a chainsaw. Oh, I have another story to tell you while we're doing the refactoring. So it's like stories with Mark. I'm living in Connecticut with my family, and there's a big storm, and it's dumped a lot of snow. And I'm let's see if I can work while I tell the story. And I'm out in back shoveling the snow out from behind the car, our car. And my daughter comes out and she says, Dad, why are you shoveling the snow? And I say to her, and I've always, kind of projected, even though I'm the guy who's like, let's drive through fire and let's drive through water. I'm also the guy who's like, I actually have a game I play with my kids in the river called the Danger Game, where I throw them out in the river upstream, and as the river takes them down by me, I grab them and bring them back in. So that's called the Danger Game. So even though I'm that guy, I'm also the guy who's always like, hey, very cautious all the time, right? Let's be careful, in everything we do. Let's, we can go ahead and have
calculated
fun.
Risks.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. And so I'm like, so she says, why are you shoveling the snow? I say, I'm shoveling the snow, in case there's an emergency, so that, we can get, and I'm not done, by the way. I'm almost done, about 75% of the way done. And I've been working on it for about 30 minutes, I think. And I said, in case there's an emergency, so we can, we need to take somebody to the hospital, we can get them out quickly and get them to the hospital. And as I say that sentence, I hear broken glass. And I look up to the house, and in the house, my son has put his arm through the window to the front door. And I'm like, okay, well, that didn't look too bad. It turns out, and by the way, I'm like, okay, Karen's in there. She can take care of any issues there. But I immediately start shoveling faster.
Yeah,
okay,
a little bit of prep never hurt anyone. And oh, look, there's an excuse to prep a little faster.
Yeah, my daughter sees this. Meanwhile, in the house, my son has split open the skin on his arm in a cut about this long. The cut is not severed any veins, but the skin is peeled back on both sides where it's open, and you can see muscles inside of it.
Ow.
Yeah. And at least it's not, if there are any veins, it's like small minor veins, nothing major.
Sure.
But my wife's got to put him back together and get him ready. And I ended up driving him to the hospital because, we can't, it was faster for me to get there than it would be for ambulance to come get us. So that was my other kind of interesting driving story. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what happens when you're like,
I've done putting the hand through the plate glass in the door before.
Yeah, you've done that?
It's not fun. Yeah. Well, see, it was on the one hand entirely my fault, and on the other hand entirely my mother's fault. It depends on how you view it. I was being instructed of I was about maybe 9.
Yeah.
And I was being asked.
This is back when you and I had that show. It was
stupid things you should never do.
Yeah, it was something like that. We did that show, and you were like my co-host then too. You remember that?
Yeah.
Anyway, you were 9. Go ahead.
I was 9 years old. It was time to feed the pets. We had a dog, and my job to feed the dog. At least I was being told that this evening. And being somewhat less than cooperative, I declared I didn't want to, but had a big smile on my face. My mum looked me square in the eye, turned me round, pointed away from me, and gave me a gentle shove.
And did give you what?
A gentle shove in the direction of where the dog is. And my hand went straight through the plate glass of the door next to where the dog was being.
No.
My mum was absolutely gutted, felt awful, and everyone else was pointing out it was entirely my fault for being so silly and not just doing it when I should have.
No. That's some ice cream, man. You can turn that into ice cream.
Yeah, quick trip to the emergency room. No damage really. I mean, yes, cuts and what have you, and it wasn't much fun, but worse things have happened, as it were. So, yeah.
All right. One of the things I love about what we've done is we've got die scale now. I want to be able to. I want to be able to programmatically control the scale of the die. And I did some tests on this, by the way. I changed this to a 2.5, and the dice look awesome. They look really cool. And so I want to scale, I mentioned this before, but I want to scale the dice based on reputation in the chat room, that sort of thing. So the longer you've been, watching the show or whatever, the bigger your reputation, the bigger your die. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. And so I think that'll people will be pretty, I think people will like that, right? It'll be kind of a way of showing everybody else, that's right, watch out for me because I've been here. So I'm looking forward to that too. All right, so what do we got? Once nearly took my brother's finger off. Everybody's telling a story now.
Yeah.
With a spade. Wait,
oh dear.
Does this mean you were about 9 or 10 years old, or there were about 9 or 10 spades, or there were 9 or 10 boys digging holes in the garden? Never seen so much blood. Luckily, neighbor was a retired nurse and improvised bandage with tea cloth, and then off to A&E, which I assume is
accident and emergency.
Accident emergency. Yeah. Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
I guess emergency room equivalent from America.
Yeah, we call it ER over here. Is what we call it. Cool. All right, so just coming down here. I am feeling better about this. I'm feeling so much better about this that if it doesn't work, I'm willing to spend time figuring out why. Right?
I think the thing is that you're on your way to somewhere good, and that every little bit you do is genuinely an improvement.
Yeah.
The difficulty is that we can't be 100% sure of the success of it until the end. It's very difficult because of the size of this to check chunks of it at a time for internal consistency. Yeah, but that's really the only downside.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do this if we didn't have the error checking, though. I'll say that, right?
Yes.
If this was...
Yeah, make a change, run the code. What happened?
Right. Whoops.
Please.
A little too far down there. Okay, cool. Continue to go through. I am liking my decision to just do this one at a time here, even though I know it's more work. There's probably faster ways to do this. But I'm liking the let me look at it one line at a time approach. Because I kind of feel like it's a little more cautious and more likely to lead to success is my belief. So that's kind of where that's my approach on this, my strategy. Yeah, I also like, though, even though you said, you like, like for example, C#'s ability to, if it's in scope, I can reference it without a this. I really do like, in this case, having the this in here so that I can very clearly see what's local and what's not. I am liking that, Rory.
Yeah.
Whoops. So, while generally I agree that this is kind of like, oh man, it's kind of feeling like a pain sometimes, here in this case, I'm like really happy about it. Whoops. That's what get reset hard is for, right? Yeah, that's kind of what we're doing with the check-ins here. We're checking in, and just before I do a major kind of change, I'm checking in what I've got, documenting, what I've done so far, what I'm about to do in the check-in. That's kind of what my intention is. All right, I'm feeling good about this approach. I think this approach has got.
Yeah.
It's not entirely going to solve all the problems that I think we're going to have, but I think it's. I think it's certainly. It feels like it's the right.
Well, it's good to encapsulate, especially when you've got this much stuff, right?
Yeah.
To sort of say, well, some of this should be internal, some of it should be external. Should I really let this be visible? And it's very difficult to exert that level of control in the global namespace, right? It's not easy.
Yeah.
So those future. I mean, not only are we making things better now, but we're making life easier for future us.
Yeah, that's what my hope is. There's no encapsulation in JavaScript, Rory.
But there is in TypeScript.
Yeah. That's what we're doing. So
don't get me wrong. Having compiled to JavaScript, yeah, everyone could hack their way into this, and there's no security at all. But there are nice prescriptive guidance that sits there saying, yes, you can't access that because it's allegedly private.
Yeah, everything's an illusion. Did I tell you that, kids? Everything's an illusion. This feels, by the way, what's going on here? Cannot find name dice data. Something out at the end. Got a break here. What? This feels like an error.
Dice roll data is the last. Oh no, it's commented out phrase at the bottom of the switch. So that's weird.
What's happening here? Did I? So calculate final message. If I name dice data. I don't even get this. I feel like it's an error in the parser. Let's cut it and paste it back in. Let's cut it. You're going to give me a problem there no matter what I do. What's on this line? It doesn't like the break either. There's something I'm missing up here. That one's good. Yes, know that feeling. Been helping my dad with Python code-based encapsulation, whereas there is an ethereal concept that exists if it feels like it. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Let me try getting rid of these. You still got a problem? Whoa. Oh no, it's down below. Look at that. Okay, yeah, we got it. It's a parser problem. So how do we get?
Can we trigger a build? Actually,
Sure. We can try one.
Like.
Let's see. I think I made up some problems because I've got some stuff up and running and loaded.
Okay.
So.
For a moment there, I thought there were significantly less errors because it just hadn't found them yet.
We're looking where
We're looking
our
pretty
red.
good though.
Red's looking good.
The red
though.
is reducing pretty nicely.
Let's grab that.
One at the top there.
Okay, what do we got here? That's not good. I don't like that. Can it find name, play final roll, sound effects? Okay, that's not good.
This feels like a mapping file somewhere's gotten corrupted. It doesn't know where this error is supposed to be for. It's not even underlining a sensible quantity of code.
I'm closing that and reopening Visual Studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I can't wait to the future AI where there's like an AI, Visual Studio agent I can talk to. I'm like, that's not even sensible, Visual Studio. It's not even sensible.
I have seen a bar at the top of Studio. It shows up occasionally and says it's offering me the ability to upload my code to, I think, Microsoft and do analysis on it with some kind of AI and take suggestions on the basis of it. I've yet to say yes. I'm not sure why.
Counter to parsing error. Right there. Okay, that's that first one. Okay, here we go.
That's looking better.
Nope. This stuff. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, no, wait. These are previous ones we made changes to. Okay. All right, good. I was a little worried. Wait, why isn't... Oh, player ID is... It should not be of this. We're good. Sorry about that, kids. Okay. That was close to being a mistake. Where I almost made a mistake that... all right, dice sounds. I think we agreed that those were global. Yeah, there they are right
Yes.
there. IntelliSense code strikes me as particularly useless. That's brilliant, where it gives you IntelliSense with suggestions tailored in order to how often you think classes members in your code base. IntelliCode, I think they call it. Wait, I'm not understanding it. Wait, I'm missing something here. Someone here says that's one of my biggest bugbears with compilers and VS. Those errors that hide other errors by blocking compilation progress. Sure.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah. I'm kind of reading.
So,
through-
Simon, are you saying you've used that feature then? So you're saying it's not only have you used it, but it does work well? Because it scares me. Upload my code to the AI that will then comment on my code.
So I'm gonna go away. Good. Dice sounds we agreed are global. Working our way down, kids.
And in fairness, making quite a bit of progress.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it, Roy. It's you know, if nothing else, I think it's important to get this to work. Just this
Yeah.
change alone. Use it all the time. Amazon's GitHub, they already have your code. Son of a... Oh, man. As I'm doing this, I'm thinking, do I want to make a CodeRush feature request for something that does this, just does this automatically? Oh, it's so high risk feature like this, right?
Yeah. I changed. I've got a TypeScript project I play with when I can find spare time, which is quite rare, but when I do, it's interesting enough. And I've noted that I started off using the namespace keyword within it, which was in there fairly early on. But looking around, I see that actually modern prescriptive advice suggests don't do that. Instead, go and do imports and exports a la JavaScript. And I've just spent, I don't know, probably most of the Christmas period of spare time making that transition from one style to the other. And I think it suits what I'm doing quite a lot better, but it's quite a change. And it's similar kind of thing. You know, you've got a bulky piece of code, which kind of works in its own right, but change from this style to that style for the entirety of it. So here, you're going from global code into a class.
Yeah.
But you're having to make human decisions over which pieces should be in that class and which
Right.
pieces should stay global.
Right.
And that's the tricky part, or at least
You're
bit
right.
of it anyway.
No, you're right. You know, making the sounds, dice sounds global was, you know, a non-intuitive choice at the beginning before we started, but then we started seeing the dependencies and realized, oh yeah, that actually does make sense to do it. I don't mind sharing the sounds because the sounds manager that we built can do multiple sounds from multiple sources all at once. So it's not, that's, my problem isn't there in that space. My problem is in managing the dice rolls and determining whether it's okay to roll a new set of dice or not. These should all be wrong. Oops, hold on. Down, delete. Get rid of that. I kind of want to time lapse this part of the show right here. What's up there? What's right up there?
Special dice.
Okay, that should compare those two.
And hide die. Was there another one there? Just the line above?
No, I don't think so because it's not red up there anymore.
Okay.
I'm just going with that as my indicator. Well,
Hey,
do you
good
think
at metric as any.
should I go back and look for, like, was there another problem that was maybe?
Oh no, I wouldn't trust me. That's
Okay.
red on black, and I'm colorblind, so odds on my
Okay.
seeing it properly anyway are pretty low.
All right. Now, what's going on here? I don't have a problem here because of the TS ignore. That's important. See, I have no error here, but there's an error there.
Yeah.
Also, I think that same problem with camera. Yeah.
Interesting theory there, though. TS ignore is ignore all the errors,
Yes,
not just
it
the
is.
specific one, which is
Yeah.
maybe the reason for it.
Yeah, we need to, we need to go look at every line that follows TS ignore. We have to go do that. It's when you get all the errors gone, it compiles that bit, and a whole bunch of other errors pop out.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
There's a whole waterfall of that experience. It just bubbles up a new batch of errors. Oh, and a new batch of errors.
Okay, so we are going to be very careful. I think, again, controls. Yeah, I'm hitting the tab key, and now the tab works. So yes, I have to do that. TS ignore. Yeah, we don't want that there. Now I should see add lights have a problem. Oh, it does not yet because of that. Let's go back. Do that. All right, let's keep going. TS ignore. TS ignore. That one looks okay. TS ignore. That's my scene right there. Oh, it's like trying to get all the rules turned on, and TS lint takes forever in legacy code base. Okay, there's a problem there. And there's also a problem here. It's got to be this.world. That's what I'm talking about. I got to be really, really careful here with these TS ignores. Dice Manager. Didn't I change that and rename it? I can't remember. That was at the beginning of the show. I'm wondering if these somehow didn't get renamed because they're in front of these TS ignores.
That would not be good.
Yeah. I'm looking for the constant on that. That's it for the file. Once again, can't drill into it. Is it over here where Dice Manager was declared? Dice Manager class. Yeah. So that Dice Manager, so that's a break in the functionality. Or maybe not. It's going to find it here. That Dice Manager there is referencing this Dice Manager in this file. I can't.
Sure. But that's a global there, right?
Yeah, it's global there. It's global, but I think this is going to be a problem. I think we are going to need to encapsulate this. I think. I want to emphasize I think, and I think it's going to have some problems, and watch out for TS ignore comments before references to Dice Manager. This is a problem, I think. We got to be careful and watch out for that. I'm going to address that after I get rid of all of the red that you see right over there on that side over there. So we'll keep kind of going through this.
It's interesting. There's quite a few references, it seems, to the Dice Manager that do work. That don't have any red, and they don't have any TS ignores next to them either in some cases.
Let's verify that. I have not seen those, but let's see what we got in Manager. Okay, so that's got a TS ignore.
Oh, that does have an ignore, yeah.
Ignore.
So maybe I'm just going blind to the ignores. That may be what it is. I'm tuning out the comments somehow.
Yeah, I think, well, you were seeing them in the other file, though. When we were in Dice.js,
oh, possibly,
here,
yes.
Tab index reference works on it. It can find all those references and sees them because they're in the same file. Okay, all right, anyway, let's keep going through here. We're going to tackle this one bit at a time. First thing that we want to do is get rid of all of these. What's my problem with add lights? Really? Is it an internal function? It is, I bet. It's inside a knit. Okay. So let's go. So add lights. There it is right there. Guess I gotta add the word function. And I gotta keep my eye over on this red line over here on the left. That's basically showing I'm still in this init function right here, which is pretty big. This initializes the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Keep going. This.world. This.world. And do me a favor, Roy, just kind of keep your eyes on the red on the right. Let me know if I miss anything as when I'm scrolling down.
Sure.
Just every once in a while, check that. Say, hey, still got that?
I mean, we've got one at the top, but I think that was because it's a reference to the other file, isn't it? We're deliberately ignoring that for now.
Double check that. I'm forgetting this. Whatever this is. No. That we turned to global.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So back down over here. I'm keeping an eye on the lines of code after this, because there could be a problem there. And I'm going to do one, just as a matter of discipline, I'm going to go do one final search for these and double check every line of code after it. Keeping the function here because we're inside another function. Okay. Yeah, I'm anticipating that there might be. Can you see these over here as something, some shade of gray?
Yeah, they show up quite a lot better, strangely, than the the wavy lines in the editor for me. Which is strange because I think maybe they've got more vertical presence.
Yeah, they're bigger. They're certainly bigger. Yeah. Hold on.
But there's not a lot of width to them.
I lost most of my errors.
You did. I was wondering whether you changed files, to be honest, but no.
No. Also, I have this problem here where we seem to lose syntax highlighting.
Oh, yes.
And I'm a little worried. I think is it a close of Visual Studio? Oh no, maybe
there you go,
it's
come back again.
Okay, there we go. Got some errors again. All right, cool. Let's go back.
Still
up.
less than there were, though. That's not bad.
About 3/4 of the way through.
Mm.
Is that right?
But now a lot less densely packed than it has been, so arguably we get through it quicker. And suddenly I think you're about to enter a realm of many more densely packed errors.
For goodness sake, Mark, do something about this.
Do something with this.
I've got this old position trailing sprite. I'm still calling it from somewhere. What's my problem there? This needs a word function. In front of it.
Feels like you missed one somewhere there. Little tricky to spot because the keys is overlaying the same area.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right.
There it is right there. Thanks for that, Rory. Good job. Okay. Brute force in English.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing, kids. Yeah, I remember like the moment just a few moments ago where I was like, or whatever, about 30, 40 minutes ago where I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. We're going to turn this into a class, and I just cut everything to clipboard. And I, sometimes I watch myself do things and hear myself say things, and I'm just like, all right, I guess we're doing it then. Mark says we're doing it. Okay,
Yeah.
Now we're outside of that init method. So init's up there. There, you can see it right up there.
Okay.
Right?
So that outer method was justifying inner functions before. Now we are no longer justifying them.
Yeah, now we're in the class. All right. We've got some TS ignores here. There's my scene. What's red wall material? Yep, it's here local. Okay, good. All right. As frustrating as it can be in the doing, I do find this refactoring the most satisfying type of coding. It's a bit like pressure washing, cold and wet doing it, but nice when everything is clean. Yeah, I would agree with that. You're exactly right, and especially if you get a sense that, hey, quality is actually improving. And I think a lot of programs do what I do, which is if you understand the code base, you understand some parts of the code base is, hey, that's quality strong, and other parts of the code base is brittle, worrisome.
Yeah.
And those just stay in your head, right? And so like this is one of those files that I wasn't liking or wasn't happy with, and so I'm feeling good that it's that part that I've been worried about is going to kind of dissolve here in a little bit. Look at this, we're only like 500 lines away from the end.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, I kind of had this, ooh, hold on, we have a problem here. This call to init is global. Okay? We need...
Yes.
Where's my die roller? Here it is. We need a big fat to do here that says we need to create an instance of this and call init. Like that. That's what we need to do.
Yes.
We need to do that. That's an important thing. I'm going to put this to do at the end of the file so I can see it down here. All right. And my intuition was telling me that as we get towards the end, although I just scrolled past a whole bunch of red, that we would actually have there was a chance we were going to have fewer errors. The error density would lighten up because I was just trying to remember what was the code that was in there. And I was thinking, I don't think it's as much as what we're doing here. I think it's, I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking, but I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, a large part of the coding errors are inappropriately declared functions that don't show up as functions, and the more you correct that sort of code, the less the references to that will fail. So fixing a function arguably can fix not just the function but several of the calls to it. The counter to that, of course, is that the local functions, or at least relatively local, so you have to change the calls as well. So I don't know, there's one thing fighting another there.
Sure. C Films is out there. C Films, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, C Films.
Why don't you can you let everybody know what I'm doing while I just continue to...
Yeah, well, Mark certainly started when I joined here. Now, in deciding that the dice roller file was a little too unwieldy, it was filled with global functions, and as we've been discussing just recently, it felt fragile. It felt like this is a place where things could happen, and we wouldn't have quite so much confidence in them happening the way we wanted. So he's cut those functions out. He's now placing them into a dice roller class, and we're sifting through the actual code. There's a slight difference to the way those functions get declared as members as opposed to when they're just exterior functions. There's some differences in the way that those functions are referenced. You have to explicitly say this dot if you're going to reference a member from within. And of course, there are some parts of that code that should remain global. And that's why it's very hard to have any kind of automated procedure to do this. We've gone through, I don't know, it's coming up on 4,000 lines of code is what we've been sifting through here, removing those errors one by one, just checking them off the list. We've come across some interesting variations. Just recently, there's a TS ignore next to several 3-based functions. 3D, I forget what it is.
Yeah.
And these are being ignored for reasons other than the poor syntax they now find themselves with. And that means that the syntax errors don't show up. So we've got to do another pass, albeit a smaller pass, on those particular references, just to make sure we're going to take those directives out, examine the functional problems with them, correct some, and then put the directives back in. So yeah, this is a big refactoring session, really, but it's refactoring, unfortunately, without the aid of anything that's going to make it all that easy to automate pieces.
Right. There are no tools for this, right? Unfortunately, so I'm doing it all by hand. So it's funny because I imagine a future where we will have the tool, and I'll remember this show, from the future, looking back, and I'll be like, oh yeah. Remember that? Those hours spent, could have done that in a minute. It's interesting,
the number of tools that we come to just think of, not even think of, as we sort of progress through our lives as programmers. I've got a colleague who is not a programmer, but he's an Excel guy. He loves his spreadsheets, right? And he loves his spreadsheets to the point where he will write, I guess it's VBA or some variation thereof. But VBA, a long way in my past, is a typeless, or you don't declare the types at all. So JavaScript's kind of got some types, and it's a very flexible type system, but he's working in a system, and he doesn't understand breakpoints, and he doesn't understand watches. He just runs the code again and again and again.
Wow.
And it's like, I look at him and I think, I wish I could show you this way of doing things, because it would help you so very much. I can see he's on the precipice of being interested, but actually, if I was to go into that explanation, his eyes would glaze over. That would be it.
Yeah, no, I get
unfortunately. And I sort of see his pain through the eyes of me who doesn't have that particular pain.
Right. No, I get that. I totally get that. What's VBA? C-Film's asking.
Visual Basic for Applications.
Yeah.
It felt, I think Simon Gearing's correcting me, it did in fact have types, be able to turn it on, but it felt like everything was an object. Not strictly true, I guess, but yeah, it was. I don't know how far everybody's history with languages goes back. I mean, I started with, I think, some form of GW Basic or similar on the Commodore 64, which is a long time ago.
What fun!
And
that must have been.
Well,
what a great computer
to
start with. What'd you say?
You had to type line numbers for 10, print this, 20, do that. There were no procedures or anything like that. There was no OO code of any description. Coding Gorilla with Atari Basic for the win. Fair enough.
Yeah, you probably back then you had go-tos, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Where you'd have a label and then you'd go to that label.
The closest we had to methods was a variation on GoTo called GoSub. And you could name the location and go there, and there'd be a return somewhere. But you could equally drift into that section of code just by processing from above.
Yes.
It was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Looking back on it anyway.
Yeah, no, I get it. Well, yeah. It's like certainly it was a thing that could, you could make work. All right,
Yeah,
I almost got the red out. It looks like I missed something above. We'll go back and check that.
One just gone back, yeah.
And then we're going to do a search for all of the TS ignores. and just double check those. And then we're going to create a new instance of this, initialize it. We need to redirect the, let me just drop a marker. We need to also redirect the roll dice call, but I think that's going to be an error.
Okay.
But I think that's going to be an error. That's what I'm typing in right there. All right. So let's go back. Scroll up just a little bit here. Where's my problem? It must be on the end of this line here. Okay. Fred, why are you so blue today? Fred, no say. All right. There.
Look at that. We're closing in on 0 compiler errors. I won't say 0 bugs because we don't know that for sure, but
yeah. You know what, Rory? I'm
careful though.
I don't think we're gonna make it. I'm just gonna hit undo. I feel like we're just it's just I don't think we're gonna get to the end of the
Git reset, head hard, enter.
That's actually one of my favorite jokes. It's about, I don't know, somebody is like on a, out in the middle of the ocean and they're like trying to get to the beach or something like that, and they swim for like, a great distance, and they get almost at the beach. They say, I don't think we're gonna make it, let's turn back. And so it's like just one of my favorite jokes. Fred's on a blueberry diet for the new year. Fred, are you having problems finding bugs? He says, okay, we're getting close. Please roll dice.
Getting there. I mean, that's the other thing. As we go through this, not only because the bugs are vanishing, but we are accelerating to some degree because you're familiar with particular issues that have come up. So where a method exists and that the solution is specifically to prepend with this. Whereas when you're initially looking at it, you have to decide, well, should that have been global or not? Those decisions have been made in the majority by now.
Yeah.
So it's just re-implementing things that we've done previously as well.
Yeah, we're not going to make it, Rory. I'm going to turn back. I'm just going to hold down Control Z. We're just going to do it.
Just cross and say no, right?
All right. Coder should make sure Fred has a good supply of bugs, says Simon Gary.
Oh, well, in that case, we should undo everything.
All right, cool. I just hit Control KD to reformat it. Oh, we got a new set of problems.
We've got a new few, haven't we?
What do we got up here?
Not many, but...
Okay. Yeah, I was expecting this to be a problem, but I guess we didn't have a class yet. Okay, so we want to do, if I type in QN, it'll give me constant read only, dice to roll, 10, like that. Then I'm going to take this, duplicate this line, paste that, and now that's a 12. So be really careful here. QB, that's equal to false. I think we're going to have a few of these to find. Die scale, I suppose I could also do this. And one's going to be a number.
Yeah.
You type in TN to get a number reference. Coder adds the colon for me, and here it's a TB. Whoops. TB to get that. Okay. There's those. I thought we had more, but okay, this is going to be a string. So QS, couple ID. There we go. It's fixed. Another one down here. Oh, yeah, I see the problem. Okay, so this is going to be die roller dot total ID. Fred, do you know Ted? Fred knows Ted. Okay, let's keep scrolling. Do I have die roller on the clipboard? No, I do not. Got a drop of water on my keyboard, just checking to make sure I'm good. I think I am. There's that. and down. Die scale, static member. We're going to change that up because I want to be able to modify. Do I? I'm going to not modify it for now. I'm going to keep it static for now. We'll change that later. Right? That's a smarter move, right?
Yeah, we're going to keep consistent behavior with what we already know to be the case. This is a cleanup operation, and we know it succeeded when things continue to work the way they are. Having reached that point, we're then in a good platform, as it were, to make those improvements.
Yes. Static. Remove dice immediately is static? Why? Only used in these two places. Well, maybe I haven't gone through and found them all yet, actually. Oh, okay. This is like a testing kind of diagnostics setting, is what I believe that is. So I'm okay with that. I'm not going to change that. Static member type, okay. Whoops. Okay. Controller time between frames Q. What are we doing? Time between frames is a number. So it's a list of a number. So I'm going to type in Q A dot N for an array of number. And I'm going to do... But why did it give me the const there? It should have known. I think I've got a problem here. QA.N. I need to make a note for myself here to look at this. I think it's a template problem. Okay. So this is going to be static read only. That equal to this. Dice roller time between frames Q. And dice roller draw time for each frame, and we're pushing draw time, which is also a number. So it's the same thing. Okay, good. But do I want it static? I don't.
I think there's a lot of things that were static before, which you want to maybe take from another static by default, but you'd like to be able to tweak it sort of in an instance, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm not, I do not want it static. I feel pretty strongly about that. In fact, I should have very few static, I should have no static variables in here, things that I can change. I tried to have a tissue on hand for when I might have an issue. Maybe missing context of the usage of that variable. Wait, if it's not compiling at the moment, then maybe it's missing context of the usage of that variable. I'm not sure what that means.
No, I'm not sure what that was in reference to, Simon. Yeah. Perhaps there was something we didn't see earlier.
Yeah. Just repeat random throw. Fine, that's static. I agree with that one. Time seconds between rolls. I think I'm fine with that one, changing to static too. Okay, holy cow, are we out of errors? Okay.
That's certainly a lot less, isn't it?
Yeah, let's go look at this. What do we got in this? Hide die in. Okay. Hide die in. Let's go find it.
Right, so that's a function we've put in as now a member of die roller, but the calling function was not.
Yeah, I'm taking it out. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm going to. It was in another class. It was a reference outside of this.
Right.
So we put it here instead, and then now that works. It's essentially can be a standalone object. It basically just says in this amount of time I want to hide it.
Yeah.
So that's all it's doing on that.
Not referencing anything exterior, so that's good.
Yeah. What are my other errors? What else do I have? I've got dice layer and connection. Dice roller, show FPS window. Not used in here. Apparently. Let's do a search.
Simon Gearing's comment earlier about it not compiling maybe was missed in context of the usage of that variable says in reference to it being const rather than car in the template expansion.
Var. In
Var.
the
Sorry. Yes.
Okay. Okay. This I want to change. Small problem here. If I have two instances of the die rollers and they both are showing the FPS window, they'll both draw it on the same spot. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with this.
I mean, you could give them an offset potentially if it ever came up. Diagnostic offset, I guess.
All right, I'm going to take this and bring it up out. I'm going to make this global. Show FPS window, set it to false, like that. Now can I tab to next reference through it? Handle FPS change dice roller. Did that work? No. Where's that? It's global, or no, it's not. Change frame rate dice roller. Oh, we got to ignore, TS ignore.
Yeah.
Called from connection. Dice roller. Where was I? A little bit disoriented here. I was over in connection. Okay, I got you. All right, so in connection, we should start working on building the piece that we need to do here. Why is FPS part of the dice roller? So frame per second, and it's basically showing the dice roller frame rate is what it's doing. And so I was doing that when we were having performance problems with with the whole machine in general, when everything was kind of sucking it, bringing it down. Okay. So in connection, let's go look at active back front game. I want to see how I'm doing this. This is in my globals. So I want to now create a global called dice roller. So what I want to do, I'm going to call it dice roller. And it's going to be of type dice roller. Like this. And now what I'm going to do, dice roller players. So what I'm going to call it. Okay? It's a type dice roller. Why? Now I may have a problem though. Why can't it find dice roller? It's right up here. Oh, die roller is what it is. It's die roller. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, die roller. Good. Dice roller players is there. Now, now what I want to do is I want to do over here. Where's my problem here? Okay, if dice layer, and I think I also want to do if dice roller players, then I want to say dice roller players die. Okay, so I still need to create an instance of this thing, but I think I'm going to do it in here. I think I'm going to do it right here. So I'm going to say dice roller players is equal to new die roller.
Yep.
Like that. So there's my init, essentially. And so if die roller is referenced, there'll be a die roller for the player he's created. If die roller, I just want to double check because I'm going to have a slight problem if die roller shows up in, like, say for example, index. Because if it does, okay, that's dice roller. Hold on. Good, it does not. So that was important to find that it's not referencer. Because if I reference it, it'll be created. So good. So that means it's also unlikely to be in the dragon front overlay. Just double check that, I suppose. Dice roller. No. You have the dice layer, but not the dice roller. So I'm okay with that because that means we're still good. At least I think that's what it means. So we've got dice roller players now. Now over in connection, this code, if dice roller players, then there we go. So just basically this code gets executed because change frame rate is going to be received by all of the layers. And some of the layers will have access to it by courtesy of the page references that are set up. Right? So die roller, we should come in here, we do a search for die roller. Is that what it was? Die roller? No, dice roller. There it is right there. That has the access. And so that right there is going to be what initiates it and creates it. So when that connection signal R command is received, it will actually change the frame rate of the die roller or roll the dice, that sort of thing. Summon Gearing says...
Yeah, that's right, Simon. None of that shiny packaging stuff.
Yes. 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 It's all on you instead. True. But, you know, I'm so old. I was doing dependency injection before somebody came along and said, let's call it dependency injection. Which I was like, wait, what? All right, fine. I guess you can call it that. But I was doing that way back, you know, before other people were doing it and before it became known as, you know, a good pattern to do. But yeah. All right, let's take a look at our errors. We should have some more errors. I don't understand why I don't have more errors. I'm looking for please.
Not a complaint you usually hear from a programmer.
Wait, what's the complaint? Here we go.
There should be more errors.
Yeah, I know it's got there. It was just when I looked at the bottom, it said 0 right here. Yeah, why does it have 0 there, but 3 here? That doesn't seem to make sense. I wonder
what file are we in?
Is it the file that I'm in?
Because there's 2 in dice layer and 1 in something else.
I see. Okay.
Dice roller. Yeah.
All right. All right. Please roll dice. This is our entry point right here. So what I want to do here, this is in dice layer. I think I can do that for now. And I can do this for now too, I think. I feel like
okay.
About ready
we should
to
be
test.
we should be down to 1.
Yeah. Dice roller, we I think are in that big init thing. Is it that my way in? Yeah, because we took that one out. That's what it is. Are we down to totally, truly 0 errors.
Wow.
Okay, last step. We need to double check, go through every single TS ignore and die roller,
Mm-hmm.
and look at each line after it to see if there's anything that could be needed this on it, because we moved it to a class. Dice Manager. Dice Manager is right now a global. I'm going to keep it a global. We're not going to take any changes to that. Oh, so I don't know this. This is not something that I do at all. Can I do that now?
I don't think we're running npm. This is literal. We've installed the SDK and it's running it from Studio.
That might be true. Okay, so anyway, let's keep going through here. Dice.link. Now, this might be a problem. What if I take it to the next line? Will I see an error on it? Can I tap the next reference? I can't. If I put this in front of it, can I tap the next reference? I can. So yeah, there was an example of a bug right there. Right? Handle die collision, we wouldn't have heard any sounds. Okay, keep going.
Coding Gorilla's correct. We don't need npm. We can just run tsc file name. Although we would need to fill out all of the file names. We have a lot of TS files, and I think we'd need to feed them all into that command line. Assuming we did Coding Gorilla, would Studio in any way pick up the results of that compilation? Would it pay attention to the IntelliCode or IntelliSense determinations of things that were right or wrong? Or would that be sent somewhere else? Because we're running something out of process at that point, but maybe that's how it already works. I'm not really sure myself.
So check it out. I'm deleting the @ for a second on it. In fact, I got a brilliant idea. Check this out, Rory.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look for that and replace it with that. And replace them all.
Ah, so you found a way to comment out the directives,
Yeah.
which are themselves in comments, because you just failed deliberately to follow the structure.
Yeah,
Good.
so now what I want to do is I just want to look visually to see what my problem is. Dice Manager, so I'm expecting to see that problem. It's global, but it's in the other file. And now at least I've got the highlighting that can get my eyes on it. Yeah, there we go. This .dice scale. Or no, it's die roller. .dice scale. Yeah, much better way of doing this.
Yeah. I mean, apart from anything else, you get a good view of all those errors, which otherwise you'd be like picking through one by one, things that were, things that weren't.
And
Very slow to
yeah,
remove individually,
yeah,
but not this way.
I clearly missed them too. I'm sure I've been missing them. Okay, so we've got those. 3, 3, 3, 3. There we go. We needed this here. This .camera, this .renderer. Okay. 3, 3, 3. Canon. This .world. Use that. It's a great way to see the errors. Dice Manager, Canon, Dice Manager, Canon, Dice Manager. I should also check on the end of lines as well. See if there's any kind of issues out here. If I've got errors in the nearby space, make sure no errors at the end of the line. Dice Manager, I think we're all good in here. Okay. 3, 3, 3. See errors. Oh, there I am right there. I see. I thought that was me right there. Okay, what do I got now? Dice scale. Okay, let's fix that. Dice values. It's this dice values. Is that right? No. What's wrong with my dice values? Where's dice values coming from? Die roller. Why didn't this work on it? Maybe it did. I just hit tab key too soon. Tab-based reference isn't working there. Also, drilling in isn't working into it. That's really interesting. Same thing here. I can't get thises to work inside here. Tab-based reference. So go to definition. Not gonna be able to do it.
Not happy, is it?
I wonder if it's because I'm in an embedded function, a function in a function. I wonder if that's it.
That kind of makes some sense. Because the this is relative to the call of the function, isn't it?
All right, die scale. Die scale. Okay, and then down at the end of the file, dice manager, dice values. Now I can tap the next reference from there. Yeah, I think it's the embedded function. I couldn't see it. And that's it. Okay, so now one more time, we're going to insert and replace that with that. Okay, and now all of these should go away. That's how you refactor, kids. How about refactoring that just inserts tsignore at the beginning of every line? What do we think? Good idea? Are we ready to redo this? I've cleared all of those errors out. I've created a new one. When the connection comes in and says roll the dice, let's go look at that. Roll dice.
Okay, that seems to be my time is up. Much as the, well, let's face it, mammoth refactoring of a, strange even to utter the phrase, mammoth refactoring of a file. But actually, I think it probably applies in this case. It's gone quite well, I think.
Yeah, it has.
Very few issues so far, detectable issues anyway.
The bad news is I just, I was like, let's see how it's working. And it didn't work. Although we're getting some stuff from over here, which is kind of interesting. Well, I haven't refreshed this. So let's refresh. I'll see you later, buddy. Well, no errors on the refresh. All right, I'm on it.
See you tomorrow.
Everyone, see you tomorrow. Okay. I'm wondering if my signal R, I've lost my signal R. Just in case, let's throw a console log, just say we're here, roll dice, like that. Let's refresh this. Oh yeah, we got a problem I just realized. On refresh straight away, we don't have we're not even drawing. I did get the roll dice colors coming in, but we're not even drawing on here. So somehow we've lost that. Am I calling a knit? Did I forget to call a knit? That may be my problem. Yeah, that was my problem. I think that's going to make a big difference right there. That call. And I've been said, hey, we got to do it. Okay. So that, I can get rid of that. Let's refresh. Now do we see it? Okay. Add lights is an internal function. Why can't I get a this from my add lights call if it's an internal function? So does it really change the this? What's the this? Let's find out. throw that out there. Let's refresh. It's undefined, is this. Well, that's a little sad for me. Okay. Can I get a bind call on this? I don't get a bind call. Ugh. Okay, so now I've got a problem here. Everywhere I've got a this inside this function, I need to pass in the scene. That's kind of a pain. I didn't know that about internal. Wait. Can I do this instead? Let's take it out of init. It's not an embedded one. This might be more refactoring time here. Let's put it out here. First of all, let's see if add lights, how does add lights look? Looks like no errors. Like that. The less JS, the better. All right, let's see what happens when we refresh. Add lights is not defined. Looks like I got an extra call to it. 2655. I saved it. Huh. I could change, save it one more time. Wait a second. Maybe I failed to refresh. Is that my problem? Change frame rate dice roller. Yeah, same problem. These embedded ones. Ugh. All right, 3247. Please request animation frame. That is that global? Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm taking this out. So any thises, we're gonna have problems with any thises. I think we're gonna have to just go through this. So this init function is big and problematic. Any embedded functions that were in it before that have the word this reference are gonna be cause problems. So animate dice roller FPS, where's that? I think I need this here. I'm passing a function into it. Oh, with this references. So, hold on, let me get a second opinion on this. TypeScript embedded functions or nested functions, maybe nested functions. This is undefined. Yeah, I see that. I'm trying to figure out, is there an easy way around it? Because I've got a lot of this references into, this init function's got a lot of stuff in it. I think what I'm gonna have to do, I think I'm gonna have to tackle this. Every single function in this, I'm gonna have to move outside of it and make it work. That's what I think I'm gonna have to do. So here's my init right here.
Hey, Mark.
Make them lambda functions. All right. And to be clear on that, it's going to be like something like this. It's like this. The function equals am I getting that right? So I have to do the type right there, function of something, returning something. Here they don't have the type next to it. Just don't declare the type, let it infer it. All right, fine. It's there. All right. So now let's go see how that's being called. I think that's going to work. If I do that, that means this is now going to work. It does appear to be the case. So it looks like the easy fix is to basically add the word, get rid of that. And do that. Fix it then, const. Let's look for function. Update physics. Coding Gorilla, I cannot thank you enough for that. That's exactly what I needed. Yeah, much better. Making all these changes is kind of burning the syntax into my head here. Was dice to roll a problem here? Dice to roll. It's static. Okay. The die roller. Yeah, I love how it also reveals new errors that we didn't see before. Is that? Where is that? It's declared there, referenced here. It's referenced later. Why doesn't it see that? Oh, it's not assignable to a parameter type number. Oh, okay, gotcha. That's much better of a situation. Good. Okay, good. What else do we got? And up here. Hidden disk die scale. Right there. How to keep up with all the new frameworks. Oh yeah. I've absolutely stepped away from all that. All right, so let's refresh. Nice, we get that. That's a great sign. Refresh the data, another great sign. 12d12s. Oh, not seeing anything roll. Hold on, what have we got? Damage type from string of undefined. What do we got? Where are we? Add die from string. Die roller line 1713. Somehow we lose the this in here because we're in the for each. I need to find the bind option. I don't think I need the bind on the for each. I think that should work. Captain X reference gets them. I know what I need to do. I need to lambda this. Yeah. That's what I need to do. All right. Yeah, thanks, Coding Gorilla. I'm learning. I'm getting there. Okay, initialize the data. Send out some D12s. Nothing came out. Wait, there, I didn't hit the button. Oh, there is something coming out. Okay. Lots of exceptions. Camera's undefined. This dot dice. Let's go look at this one. Die roller 331. What are we calling this? Add event listener. Do we need to maybe throw this at it? All right, let's see if that helped at all. We're looking for an elimination of cannot read property length of undefined going away. Okay, better. Okay, cannot. What do we get? Yeah, the matrix world inverse of undefined. So the camera's somehow not working. We need to figure out the camera piece. Definitely got issues there. I'm not sure about the camera, but I want to attack these other ones first before I go after the camera. What's here? Function tally totals. 968. Looks like I missed some. Okay. I'm going to turn these into lambdas. Let's search for the word function. I don't have any this references here, but I think I'm going to lambda-fy this thing anyway. What else? I'm going to lambda-fy this too. I've got a this right there. I definitely need to do that. Okay, keep going. Kodos, do you need more stuff being injected into the die roll instance that's missing? Maybe something that was global or static before. Something's wrong with the camera, and that's curious. I'm not expecting that. It could be, though, caused by some error above that's, no, we would have seen an error message on that, I think, in the console. We're thinking maybe we're not fully finishing or completing something. I don't know yet, is the answer to the question, essentially. That part is curious to me. But I'm right now changing functions to lambdas because they actually work with this. That part works as I'm expecting it to, which is what I need it to do. And then we're back to the top, I think, right? Yeah. Okay, so that looks like that's better. Let's refresh. Refresh. Send out. And we're left with our camera error, which is related. Oh, we got a little bit more. Nope, it's all the camera. It's all the camera. All right, this is out in 3JS here. You got a call stack on this? Let's go from the die roller. Get screen coordinates. Ah, it does need a camera. It needs a camera. Okay, that's my problem. Let's fix that. That's an easy fix. This dot camera is going to be problematic right there. Okay, get screen coordinates is called I think I am going to make the camera static. I'm going to make it static because I believe I can share it. Between the two different die rollers that I want to build on this. So let's do that. Let's see if we can go find everywhere it's being referenced. Yeah, because I'm going to have the same camera. I'm going to reuse them for both. So okay. That's a problem. Just double checking, run through one more time. Okay, let's try that. Refresh. Okay, DOM element of undefined. No renderer. Get screen coordinates. Again, the same problem. I've got this here. Let's go find the renderer. Renderer that's right nearby. What's the renderer do? Question is, should I have only one of these or two? I'm going to say one. I'm going to try it with do the same thing that I did up here. So I'm not sure if this can cause problems or not. If I have two of it, you know, I've set up two different worlds and I have one renderer that I'm reusing for both. I hope that won't be problematic, but it might. I almost think that I should set it to do here for me in case this happens again. Okay, so this is now going to become die roller. Okay, we're back around. So bad we are now. Excuse me. Refresh. Hey, we actually got some acid damage. Holy cow. All right. That looks good. Let's go find change this to false. Refresh over here. Send out. That's looking good. That's looking good. Let's refresh it on live stream and try it out. D12. Necrotic. Nice. All right.
73 necrotic damage.
Okay, not bad. We want to check this in. Okay, so we'll come in here and we're going to say managed to turn dice roller into a class. Was a bunch of global and nested functions. Commit. I think I'm going to push through. The second stage of this is to be able to actually allow 2 different sets of dice to roll at once. Do I push through or not? I think maybe I'm not actually. I'm going to change my mind on that. I'm going to go get some lunch, have some lunch with my wife. Let's get a raid going on here. I want us to say thanks to you guys for helping out. Thanks, Simon Gearing. Thanks to Coding Gorilla for helping out, teaching me how to, write code the right way. What do we got out here? InstaFluff. Let's send you to InstaFluff. And again, say thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. Too kind. And kids, we'll see you tomorrow.